Well,
we're live. Are you?
Yeah, you live?
You're good to go? Okay, we're live. Okay. Coach, this is not Coach Fox. David Fox, the black belt realtor with Synergy.
Professor Fox.
Not professor at all. So we are, man, this is why we need a moderator. I can't be moderator and host and talking.
We need a mute button.
With the Keeping It Real Estate podcast. Yeah, like just the screen goes up. Whole censorship process. We got my broker here, Jordan Bobbitt. Jordan, how we doing today, brother?
Doing good.
And associate broker Jerry. Jerry, what's going on? That's what you get. Yeah, you were just the associate. Check it. AV with Amanda. All right. So, guys, we have quite some crazy. I was doing some deep dives in the chat and looking up kind of crazy things because you hear about home ownership and it's, like, oh, it's on the form. Like home ownership, we're going to get into this. Outside, like maybe before, since the 40s, it's been pretty, within 6-7%. I didn't realize that. I thought for sure it would have been like everyone's talking like it's down, right? Like owner occupied homes, right, is down, and it goes back and forth, fluxes back and forth. But are we sharing your tales from the trenches?
Dude, I don't even care.
Okay,
no names.
Yeah. Just don't throw names around. So Joe, we're gonna start off with tales from the trenches. And then hopefully that won't get us canceled. And I'm going to kick this off to Jordan. So, Jordan, tell us about your tales from the trenches this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of just part of it's a funny story. But I was supposed to have a showing yesterday, and let's just say the agent knew they were going to accept an offer instead of giving me it's more of courtesy, professionalism. If I know I've got offers and this person's got a showing in a day or two, most agents say, hey, we've got offers, we're going to make a decision here soon, can you get in sooner? If you can, great. If you can't, you can't. It just is what it is.
Isn't there even a way? Because I've seen mass updates on showing time.
Yeah,
right?
you can send it. You can send it to everybody. So it's not... It was just laziness on this agent's part that they didn't give me the courtesy. And then the next, the morning when I woke up right before the showing, it was pending, but it didn't even cancel the showing. So thankfully I went in and looked because I was about to go to the house with my client, and we would have got there and the client who lived in the house still, it's an owner-occupied home, we would have shown up and the seller would have been like, wait, what's going on? We just accepted an offer last night. And thankfully, I was.
Part of me would have showed up.
If I didn't already call the listing agent and say some choice words to him.
He didn't notify me. Weird. That's crazy.
Then I would have showed up because I would have made.
So I'll actually piggyback off that, right? So there's common courtesy and this is actually a point with choosing the agent, choosing the realtor that you want. How are they known amongst their peers, right? If you're known as maybe, I'm not going to call that unethical, inconsiderate, if you're known as, difficult to deal with, if you're all things equal, Jerry, how many times have you for your client won a deal over because agents they're like, I know Jerry and I know he's going to get this deal done better than Joe Schmo or whoever off the block. So that's pretty important too. It's not. I think people have this idea of this line in the sand of us versus them mentality. That's not my approach at all. But I personally hate that approach of like it's a dance a little bit. Buyer seller, get them what they want. But so on that note of being considerate, I made a post last week about a showing, and it was I included a picture of the price change, right? Of just the price change, and I noticed it came off the market, back on and back off again, and like 2 times in 2 days. I was like, that's strange. Called listing agent, hey, what's going on? She tells me the story, it's a single mother and this and that, and there was some, I was like, okay, cool, whatever. The address was not disclosed. The seller was not disclosed. The listing agent was not disclosed. But I didn't realize the listing agent followed me on Facebook. I think she sent her kid to one of our camps too. I like her. I like her a lot. And then she's like, so, by the way, here's that. Can you take that post down? The world doesn't need to know that my client is, all the details of my client, because I did share it, but it was vague, it was generic, right? It felt personal to her, but I was like, and I even sent Jerry, I was like, did I mess up here? And he's like, nah, dude. He's like, just but is it worth leaving that up to upset that agent? I was like, no problem.
It's a professional.
I'll take it down right away. Like literally immediately. I was like, hey, just I took it down. You're good. Right. So that goes a long way. I can't even say anything about the agent's name. I was gonna. So it's a pretty obvious one. Okay, so we're gonna get into a few things, starting with the hurdles of homeownership for the self-employed, or even maybe specifically self-employed. Could be 1099 contractors too.
1099.
Yeah, if they expense a lot and they kind of reduce their tax liabilities. So what can we expect if you work for yourself, you own your own business, you're self-employed? It's a double-edged sword. You have the pros that you can write off things. You can write off mileage. You can write off your phone, internet. You can write off meals and entertainment. You can write out, so you reduce, on the front end, you reduce your tax liability, right, to a point. On the back end, though, that's when it comes time to be like, hey, let's see how much Jordan Bobbitt is making, and you may have gotten, whatever, $60,000 in real estate commissions, but you wrote off 20, and so your net income is 40, or however you do your taxes. I have no idea.
It's way less.
Okay. He's like, I make zero. I make zero. You seen that meme of that Pat? She's like, zero, nothing. I'm like, no money. Now they're gonna approve you at $40,000, and that can be, or they're not gonna approve you at all, one way or the other. What option? This is probably more of a convo. I am gonna tie Joe in here. I'm gonna give him a plug because he and I faced this situation this week. What options did they have? I'm gonna punt this to Jerry.
Option wise, if you've already done it in the past, you're going to be limited. So the only thing you really can do is go back and do what's called an amended 1099 and say, you know what? I think I made a little bit more than what I thought I did.
I think I made double what I did. It was a small typo. I missed a zero.
It happens. Yeah. It happens. You go back and do it at 1099 unamended. However, now you're going to pay taxes on that, and probably some kind of penalty for doing it late as well. But it has been done to get somebody to qualify. That's option number one.
Sure.
Option number two, which is the avenue that usually I'll try to get my clients to go to, and I know Joe probably would agree. What we would rather see is start changing how you pay yourself and what you're paying yourself. So when I say that, I mean you're no longer getting paid on a 1099. You're going to just start paying yourself as an employee of the company that you own.
I hate that, dude.
It sucks, right?
I know people who do it. I've never. Maybe the first year. Maybe the first year I did it. It just.
I've never done it. I couldn't do it.
I've
I've always made enough, and I just paid my taxes.
W-2.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Well, yeah. So and just so you know,
it feels like paying retail. Like I don't want to do it.
What do you mean? It's worse. Because and just for you guys that don't know, when you're 1099, you pay your own.
You're paying your own FICA too. Social Security. You're paying an extra 7.65% or something.
So when you're paying on a 1099, you pay your own Social Security.
Mm-hmm. Right.
When you W-2 yourself, now you got to pay unemployment. You got to pay everything else, and so your tax liability's horrible.
Yeah.
But it is an option.
Yeah.
So. Those are the two options that you really have when you're 1099, and it goes along with the par course for just being a self-employed person.
Jordan, do you? I mean, I assume obviously you guys being agents, you deal with this. Have you found any workarounds or any way other than just paying the piper and declare? I'm not going to say declaring the income like you're not, because you can. For the record, it is 100% legal to avoid taxes. It's written in the tax law. It's 100% legal.
Yeah, don't like Trump said. Don't hate me. Yeah, you guys wrote the law.
You can't evade taxes, right? Evade is like I make $1, I don't tell anybody. Pocket it. Well, yeah, that's how you catch Al Capone, right? So you can, you start with this much, expense this out. You're left with this much left on your income. So, what workarounds have you used, or do you just?
The only other way. It depends too on what you're doing to buy the is it an investment property? Is it your personal home? Because if it's an investment, maybe you're buying a rental, there may be ways around it, different, if you're putting 20-25% down, you may have a higher interest rate. But it's, I think is it DSCR loan is an option. I know
debt service coverage ratio.
Yeah. So, depending on, is it bringing enough rent in, there's some options, but like I said, you're going to be paying for it on the back end with a higher interest rate loan if you do that.
So Joe, and I'm sure you're familiar with this one too. He was we were exploring this week, and just like W-2 didn't exist, right? Income wasn't there personally, and they're like, well, what we can do for self-employed is they need 2 years of bank statement.
2 years.
Yeah, so 2 years. So I think that's cool, right? Like I think that's cool because you can show. You have a business, you have a construction business, and I'm just going to arbitrarily say $1 million, right? If they can show $1 million coming in, even if 965,000,
as long as it's consistent.
Consistent, right? Yeah,
that's what they want to see. 2 years,
right? So it's coming in, and then they
used to be 3.
Yeah, I mean, but that's okay. Like, assuming there's no fraud, right? Like, assuming there's no fraud, like that's at least doable because you're operating the business, right. You're doing the things,
and I'll go back to what we used to do, and this is not even on the table anymore. But and this is an unfortunate thing, and there might be a handful of people out there that say, "Well, that's why we got into so many mortgages defaulting is because of this." We had what was called a no doc.
Oh yeah, well yeah, sure.
So. No docs.
That's off The Big Short, yo. We should have a Big Short. Well, that's a kind of a racy movie.
Yeah, so no docs were exactly that. No documentation needed. So I walked in, and this was, I'll give you a personal experience. I walked in, Sherry and I thought about, buying a house. We went and looked at it. I'm like, well, let me go talk to a mortgage rep at the time. Her name was Corey. Still is Corey. So I said, Corey. Still is Corey.
She didn't change.
She didn't change her name. So I said, hey, Corey. I said, I'm thinking of buying this house. I think it was $250 at the time. She's like, how much you putting down? I said, 20%. I'll put 20 down. She's like, what's your credit score? I said, 810, 820. Depends on the day you pull it. I don't know.
That's crazy.
So she goes, well, when do you want to close? I'm like, well, that's what I'm asking you because we're trying to figure out if we can close it quick. She goes, you want to close tomorrow? I said, no, I'm being serious, Corey. She's like, here's the criteria. Do you have good credit? And are you putting 20% down? And you just said yes to both. Because we know if your credit score is 800, you're not defaulting. That's why you have an 800 credit score. And you're putting 20% down. You're not going to walk away from $50,000. So we know you're a good credit score.
Reason would suggest, right?
Yep.
Didn't you say, though, because you were around, obviously, during the crash, and didn't you say that there were a lot of upper income earners, high income earners who bought these, we'll call them luxury homes at the time, and their neighbor, it
was neighbor next door.
Yeah, so their neighbor, so they were bankable, credit worthy, but to them, to me, I'm rare, right? Like I know at this table we all agree with this. Whether I sign an agreement with you, or I sign an agreement with the bank, or I sign an agreement with the federal government, I'm like
you did it.
Yeah, you did it, right? You're yay be yay, your nay be nay, your man be your word. So you're kind of honored to that, right? You hold to that. Not everyone, some people think, well, the government's full of a bunch of, and for the record. I can believe that I need to honor my word to the federal government and still believe the government is full of a den of thieves. Like two things can be true at once, right? But it's a decision we made. You saw this happen during the crash, though.
Yeah, I saw both ends.
So tell me, can you go into that?
So I saw both ends.
Tale from the historic trenches.
So I saw one on a, and I say good, and it was unfortunate for them, but to me it was good in their character. It was an older couple who took their house that they owned here in Michigan outright. They owned it free and clear.
Yep.
They wanted to buy a house down in Florida. So they refied the house here. And then they took all that money and bought the house down in Florida with the intent on selling the house in Michigan.
Yeah. Okay.
So they paid cash for their house in Florida.
Sure.
With the funds from the house in Michigan. And then the market tanked in the process. Like within a 6-month period of time, just
Why'd it take so long?
tanked.
Why'd it take so long?
Well, I don't know if they had to pay and it was new construction. I really didn't know. I was
Okay.
coming in at the tail end of
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Literally at the table. And
Oh, I see.
their house here must have been worth, I'm guessing, upwards of $700,000 to $1 million here in Michigan.
Oh, wow. In 2008?
Well, it had to, or maybe $500,000. And again, I came in at the end.
Sure.
Whatever the value was, when you refi like that, the most they're typically going to give you is an 80% value.
Of course, yeah.
Their closing, they were $250,000 short.
Oof. That's a hit, dog.
That's a huge hit.
That's
a huge. I don't care who you are. $250,000 is a huge hit, right? They brought a $250,000 check to closing to say, here you can have my house. Here's another $250,000, and here's the key to my house. So I say that is a good thing only because that shows a ton of character to me, and that's what they said. We knew what we did. We signed the documents. That's who we are. And you know what? Those are the kind of people I'll work with any day of the week.
Dude.
Now-
That's a sting. $250,000 in 2010 money?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. That was the most I've ever-
500,000 in today money. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Good on them though.
Yep.
You know,
Now, on the other hand,
good on them, comma, was that the only option? Could we have rented it out because they recovered in 5 years, you know?
but they were elderly.
Yeah.
They were elderly.
Are they alive?
No, I'm sure not. No. Yeah.
All right, we may not. Okay, all right.
On-
Sorry, kids, your inheritance went up.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite side,
That's a tough one for the kids, dude. You know, can you?
sure. Yeah. Mom and Dad, are you sure that's what you want to do?
Yeah, man.
I'd be telling them to file bankruptcy.
On the opposite side, I know of doctors who were making wonderful money, perfectly capable of making their note on their house.
Yeah.
But their $1 million mansion in '08 had devalued to $500,000 or even less. And then you have...
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
And I'll keep cutting in your screen. Did we see, and by we I mean you because I was in high school or fresh out, like certain tiers, like did the upper tier, like higher, we'll call them luxury, which I wouldn't know if that was luxury, get whacked harder than like your entry level homes in 2008 or 2009, or did all pretty
everybody got screwed
unilaterally 50% boom?
It was
done?
bad.
Okay, all
yeah,
right.
it was bad. I didn't care if it was a house in Detroit to houses in Farmington,
Sure.
Bloomfield Hills. Everybody was getting beat. I mean, because it was your stocks, it was everything. So your high end was getting hit, your business owners were getting hit, your hourly employees were getting hit. Everybody was getting hit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a bad place to be. I mean, I'll use real estate as an example, and then I'll get back to the doctor. Downriver had around 1,000 to 1,200 real estate agents. In '07, '08, we went down to 250 agents.
How many? Oh, wow. That's an 80% cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to 70, 80 brokerages to less than 40.
Yeah. How many agents are there now downriver?
Well,
in
C-Bar, we have over 700.
Yeah,
That's
C-Bar
just the
is
southeastern
750.
border. But not of everybody downriver is C-Bar.
700?
Yeah, so I would say we have...
But you're talking that's southeastern Michigan, so it's downriver, Monroe, and I mean, like he said too, not everybody, even downriver and Monroe, is a part of C-Bar. I mean, there's.
I would say
multiple
we're at that
offices.
1,000 mark again or more.
Okay. All right.
So the doctor in this...
Do you? Sorry.
No, you're
I'm
good.
sorry to interrupt. I just keep.
No.
Do you want to see less agents?
Yes.
Most don't do anything, and most.
Yeah.
I read 70% sold zero last year.
So.
Yes and no,
that's
because you have to
very
remember-
skewed. Yeah, I was
How so?
'cause I was looking into it. Well, one, when you think of teams, okay, you've got. I'll just use the Mark Z team. They're a huge team. Most agents, even though they work,
easy, don't kick the golden goose.
even
here.
though you, well, I'm not. It's
I
not,
know.
Even though they work for Mark Z, they're closing deals. Where does it, or who gets the credit in the MLS? Mark Z,
Does he?
or
Does he?
not all of them, or their team
or one
leaders.
of the team leaders.
So it's any
Really?
team. So you.
Oh, that's dramatically.
So
skewed then.
you don't get the credit. You
Why?
know, Jerry- 'cause
Why?
that's-
Why do they set it up like that?
They just
'cause-
want credit.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's a mentality.
No,
It's
what-
what do you mean?
Why?
If I've got,
It can't just be an ego
if
thing.
me,
Oh, yes, it
It's
is.
just an ego thing.
Absolutely.
I sold this much,
That's
so they
the
just
part
want
of
it
only
as-
reason.
Part of it is a money thing too, because if it's me and I've got 10 people underneath me, and now I'm making 25% on the deals that you're doing, I can still go close my 30, 40 deals, whatever, and I'm making a residual or small portion on my team because I'm helping them. So
Do you think? I know we talked about teams last week. If consumers knew how many people were getting a cut of the pie from their house,
They would care?
they would squawk.
No.
I don't know.
I don't think they would care. Do you care? Do you care when you go buy a car, how much the salesperson's getting paid, the manager's getting paid, the back end, finance guy's getting paid?
The older I get, the more I tie to hillbilly math. Like, it's really simple. Like, what's the overall cost?
That's
right?
it. It's all I
If-
care
If
about.
I'm paying something and 15 of y'all are getting a cut versus if I'm paying more and there's only 2 people, I don't really care how your internal.
Exactly.
I don't care.
At the end-
but the argument could be if there were less people, right? If there weren't teams and then there would be more meat on the bone for me to take.
sure, but where are you going to end? I mean, because I'll even use Zillow. Are you going to cut Zillow off consumer? Because do you know how much
They take a third of what we make.
Who does?
Zillow? When you're using the
What are you
Zillow
talking about?
agents. Zillow
So
agents. Well, not because they could. There's 2 options. They could pay monthly, like all the Zillow Premier agents. They pay thousands of dollars monthly to be on there. It's an advertising for them.
What do you mean they take it? They take
But
it.
that's-
It's a referral fee.
It's a referral.
right? So if you're making, and I'll just use our office policy because everybody is different out there, but Synergy's office policy is 3%.
Sure.
So if I make 3% on a buy or a sell, but that referral came from a third party marketing company, they all want a referral fee back. And typically it's a 35% referral fee.
It doesn't matter
Where-
if you're Zillow,
how do you- how
Redfin.
do
So that's a third of
I've
my
had
money.
no success. I've had zero
Well,
success
okay,
with Zillow.
They really don't. I mean, and even if you ask Zillow or if you Google it, I'm sure ChatGPT will all say the same thing. I think their success rate is like 3%.
Yeah, 3
it's about a 3%. So there's not. But anyways,
where are they? Where are they sent? Are they sending those? Like, where are they sending those to? Like to your email or something? Like where?
well, it depends on the company.
Yeah. So I mean, you're probably getting this. I mean, you got Zillow leads. Did you pay for them or did you?
No, I'm not paying for it.
Yeah, so
when
you
I
probably
first
got
got
'em.
when I first got licensed, I went through Realtor.com. Bro, like I've never burned money so fast, and I dipped in crypto before, and it was like that. What a complete waste of money.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's
Complete
what I,
waste of
because he
money.
and I, we talk, back in business stuff on lead generation companies. What direction do we want the company to go into? And my 2 cents is it's a waste of money. End of discussion. It's a waste of money.
As it stands right now,
I've
that was my evaluation. You talked to me about boosting that. I'm like, bro, listen, I threw thousands into Facebook ads. I thought it would be like the gym, right? The gym's pretty predictable.
Yeah,
you run a lead. Well, one, there's a lot more red tape. Like
For real estate, there's a ton of red tape.
Have you seen my current jiu-jitsu gym ad right now? It's literally titled, what's the title? The best jiu-jitsu gym for millennial men. Boom, red flag right away. Like right away.
that you can't do.
You can't do that in real estate.
And
You said men. You said
Yeah,
millennial.
you said millennial, and then I talked about like Family Guy, and they're like,
Oh, you just
you're
discriminated.
a walking lawsuit. You're a walking lawsuit, and so so add that into all the red tape to even get something approved.
Yeah.
You're competing with budgets, right? You're competing with Realtor's budget. You're competing with Zillow's budget. You're competing with Mark Z's. I mean, Mark Z has got to spend 6 figures a month on ads,
marketing.
On marketing.
Yeah, billboards.
Probably, yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, for sure. But so I mean, that's not.
But yeah, so it's one. Yeah, going back to the 70% not selling. So you've got the team aspect.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
you've got the aspect of how many times do you sell something, and then the listing agent just puts other as the buyer's agent.
That happens a lot.
If you look in
Laziness.
if you look in our MLS, participating members is what they call them, is the number one agent in our
So what
MLS.
what do you think the real number is?
30. That's about 30%.
Didn't do anything?
Honestly,
Yeah.
about 30.
Okay.
And that's
All right.
always been historically for the last 30 some years that I've been a broker.
Yeah.
About 30% of all agents do absolutely nothing.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Except hold their license.
Yeah, I mean that's.
It's better than the 70.
Yeah, you'll have,
The
you'll-
average
you'll
real
have
estate agent does about 6 deals a year. That's your
that.
average.
6. Okay.
6.
All right. So I'm gonna dive into. We kind of hit this a little bit, but I'm gonna see if I can. We may have exhausted this one, but for the sake of a case study, I'm gonna read this Reddit rundown. I would like to share my screen because, as we discussed pre-show, people need visual. Is this gonna work? I don't know. Coin toss. This is working more often than it's not. I like when it does this. Okay, so self-employed trying to get a loan. I have a complex scenario, and this one, it gives me cancer reading it.
I'm a guy.
Just so you know, yeah, no,
27
no,
years
no,
old.
no, no. I think it's the girl.
Single.
This is by MMB8284. I have a complex scenario I'm trying to get educated on before my appointment with the lender in a couple days. I am the new owner of a small business that barely breaks even. It's a small family business that I've worked for 20 years. My father became ill 4 years ago and became acting owner while trying to be his caregiver. When he died last year, I officially became the new owner. We've leased a warehouse for $2,500 a month for 20 years. Our goal has always been to find a home that has a sizable piece of property and shop once I become the owner. However, what we didn't realize is that once you become self-employed, I'm getting there. Once you become self-employed, this presents much difficult challenges. My husband and I have the person. We have to prove to the bank we can afford it. I want to take
dare they?
I want to take the $2,500 a month that I pay in rent for my current shop and run my business out of the shop on the new property. The $2,500 that I pay would now fund half the mortgage. Is that plausible?
No.
So she's looking for a $5,000 mortgage. You're looking for a $1 million house?
No.
So maybe I have this wrong. I'm not trying to borrow money from the business. I have some work to do, build it back up after putting it on the back burner, blah, 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 blah. Any thoughts? So my thoughts...
Walmart's hiring.
My thoughts on this, and this is going to sound... we don't have financials. We don't know. Barely breaking... Because breaking even, here's what I'll add. Are you breaking even after your draw? I mean, that's most businesses, right? Like, I mean,
That's the goal.
That, right? That's the goal, right? I make zero money. That's the
I did that one time. A guy owned a restaurant, and I said, "You show you made 20 grand last year." He goes, "That's all I made." And I said, "You live in $1 million mansion on East River in Groseal." He goes, "Both my sons are attorneys. I'll be okay."
Yeah.
That was his response.
Yeah, dude. Well, you know what? I was at a biz conference one time, and they were it was 4 or 5 years ago, and a tax lady came up, and she's like, yeah, and it was something about this is not the example we gave because this makes sense, but she was like, you can write off firearms as security, and I was like, well, what if you get audited? She's like, they make $25 an hour. You'll just school them. It's not a big deal.
No. That was my accountant.
Legit.
I love this guy. He used to be my accountant, and that was his answer. I said, Charlie, what happens if I get audited? He's like, Jerry. He was like, think about it. Who goes and works for the government? Who goes and works for the
tax
IRS?
auditor? Yeah.
Anybody that can't get a job in tax firms, we're fine. That was it.
I had a.
Okay.
This was back in the day. We had. I got audited by the state of Michigan, right? And it was the Michigan business tax, which conveniently disappeared the next year, right? Stuff. But she comes in, and my CPA told me, he's like, if you ever get audited, the first thing you can do is make them feel comfortable, right? So they audited the books, and this was in 2010, so it's been 15 years. So I'm gonna, She was like, yeah. So I most of the docs like were good. I was missing a couple. Unfortunately, they were serial. This is back during the golden jewelry. And I was like, oh, weird. Let me go see if I can find it. How much is it supposed to be? I went and printed her one off, got it, and I was like, here you go. She's like, oh, thank you so much. I was like, do you need any more donuts or anything? And she's like, no, you've been amazing. Thank you. I still had to pay like $10,000 at the end of it. But it was you remember the Michigan business tax?
Yeah.
It was theft. It was theft is what it was. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they were, from what they initially said, they were like, you owe 50, 60, 70. I was like, get out of here. You're out of your mind.
Well, it was funny because one time we got a letter. It was for $150. They said you owed us. You shorted us $150 on an audit. Sherry wanted to argue it.
Here, send the check. Just get them. If you can make the IRS go away for $150, you write the check.
She's like, but we don't know it. I'm like, Sherry, just shut up and write the check.
Settled. Good. No takes backsies. Got it. All right, we're good.
That's $150 I ever wrote.
In this scenario, I mean, I think, what industry are you in? You can't. Yes, I understand what she's trying to say. She's trying to say, well, if we're able to cover rent here, then we should be able to cover our mortgage. That creates several issues, right? Apples and oranges. You can't. I mean, we talked about this. There's not a great way to write off your mortgage. Like the juice isn't worth the squeeze. For what? For. I mean, I don't even. Hey, do you know anyone who successfully had their business write off their primary residence mortgage?
I would never attempt it.
Yeah, right,
I don't know. Right. I don't know anybody that would even try.
Yeah, because what are you saving? You're saving, let's call it $2,000. You're saving 20% taxes. That's $400. It's $5,000 a year. But you're red flagging the daylight side. You open up.
Well, then you lose your homestead.
Part of the house.
Why?
Because it's not. You're not using it as a home. You're using it as a business.
You get like an 80. Like if you're using 20% of the home for business,
yes,
then
that alone is.
Then if you paid, and I'm using round numbers, if you paid $100,000 for your house, you did that for 30 years, and now you sell the house for $400,000 in 30 years. You're paying taxes now
on that percentage.
On that percentage that you're writing off.
Yeah, versus the $500,000 capital gains.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, any accountant I've ever talked to, their answer is no.
Just
before I get the question out, they're like, just don't do it.
So, but I'm sorry, Miss MMB8284. It sounds like a couple things. See if this business is even worth continuing to operate.
She's been in business for how many decades?
But she's only took it over. Her father, who became ill, took it over 4 years ago. So it sounds like it's a job. You just own a job.
No.
It's been around for 20 years.
I thought he owned it for 20 years.
It's a small family business that I have worked for 20 years. My father became ill and became acting owner.
No, she became
acting owner 4 years ago, I thought.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
So it's your dad's place.
Yeah, and I'm no disrespect. I mean, yeah, but after 25 years, if you're not showing a good profit,
sure.
And your problem should be showing profit now. Mm-hmm. That honestly should be your how can I write stuff off?
Yeah.
Not how can I show more income to qualify for a building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. All right. Well, sorry, self-employed MMB828 or 8284. We are gonna move right along to this next Reddit. Let me see. Where's the one? How do we do this? This is what happens when I try to move my Reddit rundowns to Facebook. Do you know I have a blocker on my phone? It's called Opal. I pay, and this is some of the best money I ever spent.
For phone calls?
No, it's $50 a year, I think, and it will block. Like, it'll block my whatever apps I tell it. I have it block social, right? So if I'm like working and I'm like, don't freaking bother me. Dude, you know how many times I, out of habit, will just go to Facebook or go to Instagram or go to, not so much YouTube, right? I should probably block my mailbox as of late too, right? Like my mailbox, I'm looking at, it's got 92,000 in the
unread.
I was saying, what do you mean you need to block it? It's not like you read any of them anyways.
Valid. Yeah, that's valid.
I really just want to get this computer and just delete all unread.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, but then you've got almost 100,000.
What if I got to search?
No idea.
Now?
Yeah.
All right. So here we've got, and this is actually old news, but I'm gonna. There we go. Donald Trump, for a very long time, buying and owning a home was considered the pinnacle of the American dream. It was the reward for working hard and doing the right thing. But now, this is Trump, right? It is for that reason he's blaming other people. I'm immediately taking steps to ban large institutional investors from buying more single-family homes, and I will be calling on Congress to codify it. People live in homes, not corporations. I will discuss this topic further. So, obviously, we know I don't know what I am or I'm not allowed to say on political views. I tend to be conservative, so I'm not going to point fingers, but I do think that he's addressing something as far as large institutional investors buying single-family homes. Jerry, what would this do to home prices? Nothing. Come on.
Currently?
Nothing.
In our area? Nah,
Nothing. Okay, so, and I already did the Google on this, and I already searched, so that's why I already know my answer. One, I think it's comical, and I don't care what people believe. I think Trump is doing 90% awesome stuff. I think that's comical.
Okay,
I think that's comical, though, coming from a guy that's in real estate. He owns how much real estate, and it's okay for him.
What do you think? What do you think is this just a red herring? Like what's the whole point of the action?
I think that there is a difference, and I'm kind of I laugh at what he's saying because he does own.
He owns a lot of real estate.
Of real estate, but he's saying on the other hand,
he owns a lot of single family though.
He doesn't, and that's the thing. And I think, and that's from like there is a little bit difference. Most of his stuff is he does high rises and then sells condos. That's most of his stuff.
Big difference, yeah.
What he's talking about are companies like BlackRock who go out and buy 50, 60,000 single-family residential homes.
Yeah.
But when you do the math on it, how many single-family homes are there in the United States? How much do these companies own? What percentage? It's fractional. You're not going to make a hillbilly.
It was a couple percent.
It's 2%.
It's really not that. I mean, honestly,
that's lower than I expected.
Yeah. So if I saw an increase of residential income or residential listings by 2%, what's that going to do to the market? Nothing. If we typically have 100 houses for sale,
I didn't realize it was that low,
and it goes to 102%, and Jordan's going to do our little quick math here.
Yeah,
it does absolutely
He's like Data.
nothing.
What show is it with Data? I keep bouncing it.
So, I personally don't care. I think there's other issues out there that could definitely, and I think we've spoken about that in the past.
It's going to depend on the time period because as of right now, it's 65% are homeowners. When you go back to
owner-occupied.
Yeah, owner-occupied. When you go back to the 90s to the early 2000s, that was the peak, and that was 69%. And then after the 2008 crash, it goes down to 63%, and then it comes back up to the 65%.
What percentage are owned by Black? Let's just say, how much does BlackRock own?
Well, that I'd have to... Well, just they're not going to know just one company. But
we did look it up, so it's really not that big of a difference, and it's just not.
So how do you feel? Are you a Dave Ramsey fan?
A portion of his stuff.
The macro. I think that
on a macro level, yes. On a micro level, there's some discrepancies on some stuff.
Dude, when I was young and reckless with money, and
that's who it's good for.
I mean, it's kind of like fundamentals, and then you can deal with everyone's got your core foundation. Right. You might dress the shingles a little bit or siding or whatever. But so he talked about this. He disagrees, but he didn't use data. So that's true. If the number is indeed BlackRock only has 2%, then it's not going to do it.
Yeah, the only place I disagree with him on are credit cards.
Yeah. Furthermore, is he said, and you've said this as well. He's like, what if your capital gains cap on primary residential real estate is $500,000 for a joint couple who owns a home? He's like, that's been around from the 90s. Bump that up to $2 million. Now you have a lot of boomers that are sitting on, they got this house from equity, wherever, right? And they've got this equity, and they're like, I don't want to get slapped. Capital gains is 22%, right? If you stand to make an extra $500,000, you're going to get whacked for almost $100,000. I'll rent it out. I'm not going to sell that, right? I'll rent it out, right? Not everyone is just going to let that go to the government. Yeah. I think that's equally. I think that makes sense. To if you were to undo that.
Regulations are another thing that add a ton of money to the cost of new construction.
Sure.
Huge.
Yeah. What we did it. It was like 15% or 15, almost 20%.
Percentage wise,
it was substantial. Yeah, because on a $400,000 house, almost
I would
dude,
say
I
it's
feel
closer
like
to 20%.
yeah.
You can Google it.
Well, I would say for the corporate owned, you're at roughly 3% or 450 to 550,000.
Yeah. So
and that's across. That's not just
Okay.
one. That's across multiple.
Yeah.
But the other thing too that I was going to mention
negligible.
is for Trump when he's I'm going to ban corporations. He should have done it back when interest rates were 2.5%, 3% because that's when they were buying.
hitting heavy.
it would have been that's difficult to do though because it was never a problem.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're doing it. So
that's
and
what I'm
anything
saying
in
is
Congress or anything with
a couple years too late.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yeah.
oh yay, thanks, you're putting the Band-Aid on something that the cut that's already scabbed over and healed. So
I see.
But you can Google how much does regulations increase the price of new construction?
Yeah.
well, it's going to vary by state and
You can Google
because
on a
even I'll
national
even
level.
use because there is a push to do not fire suppression fire suppression systems or water sprinklers
Yeah.
in all new construction
yeah,
homes.
we talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thankfully that's not a thing yet, but
you have your national building codes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what I'm talking about. If you take into consideration, it's like $70,000 for every average new home.
And on a new construction home of 350 or
400, I think
so
now.
it's almost 20%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost 20%. So now, to play devil's advocate, those are there for your safety.
Not everything.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, you know
Yeah,
those. I mean,
yeah,
you had those license. So,
Yeah.
and part of it is go to California. Go to California. The regulations that they have there are just
It's obnoxious. Yeah.
obnoxious.
Yeah.
well, and the funny thing is I was watching a video and it was like, we have all of these regulations and all of these rules here, but then you look at the way our homes are built compared to, homes over in Europe that have been standing for much longer.
Well, they build a lot. They build concrete homes over there.
Well, that was
Most of them are
different.
cinder
They're
block.
Yeah,
they're like,
cinder block,
they're like,
sure.
why
Yeah.
do you guys build these houses with you get a
We're made
a
fun
hair
of by the
dryer.
Europeans. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're-
you get a
we're made
hair
fun of.
dryer and the house blows over. They're like, do you guys not know how to build? But yeah, it's
production.
yeah.
I mean,
It's the cheapest way to get it up.
imagine if imagine. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you had what's the footprint of your pole barn?
1,800, 60 by 30.
How much was just the block walls for that?
We didn't do block.
Oh, I didn't do block because of the cost.
Okay. Oh,
The
right.
old
You were
one.
getting charged. Well, you were getting quoted. What I feel like 25 cents a brick.
Oh, that's
50.
cute.
Or no. Well, I don't know. Well, how much?
Okay, so
how much were you getting charged per block?
all right. So my old pole barn, the first floor was cinder block.
Yeah.
And it was substantially smaller. My new one is 60 by 30, and I thought, well, I'll do cinder block on the main floor, and then second story will be different. So I called some
Professionals.
friends of my mom's, and I said, hey, how much would you charge for cinder block to do a pole barn? And I gave him the measurements, and I said, just ballpark per brick.
Mm-hmm.
So a cinder block costs approximately $1.50.
Yep.
Mortar, top, bottom, sides, be 50 cents. You know what? And it's probably
Sure.
low, but
Sure.
or high,
Okay.
but we'll call it 50. So you got $2 in cost,
Mm-hmm.
and they charge $15 per cinder block.
Sounds like we're figuring out how to lay block, bro. Like I mean, that
trust
is-
me.
That is so. First off, I will say masonry work is very difficult. Like it's physically demanding, right?
It
I
is.
mean, you
It's
could
a
say,
lot
"Oh,
of
it's
hard
not a
work.
big." Yeah, that first
It's
block.
an art.
The first block is not terrible. Well, and here's what I will say: cinder block, because that's not going to be your finished product, right? You're probably going to go over it with what siding or whatever.
Something,
So it's
yeah.
covered, right? So like the mortar lines don't have to be like perfect. It's not the most complicated, you see the guys laying block. There's a reason they're not, doing IT, right? Like they're artisans,
Artisans.
right?
Artisans, yeah.
Yeah, so they're artisans, but in that craft, right? That said, I mean it is difficult, but $15 a
15.
block.
So I called two other ones that I also knew.
That's a lot of blocks. That's I'm
It was
thinking
what, 80 grand just in
It was
blocks?
something stupid.
$80,000 for walls.
Just
or
and you have to remember
20 in stick building.
And you have to remember, my south wall has 3 doors, and I went oversized on my door, so it's that much less.
You need steel lintels above them,
Yeah.
right? Angle iron.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it gets heavy fast, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean steel beams? We had like 2x4s.
Yeah, I had 2x4s for my headers.
You didn't see those rotted?
Well,
out in 2 years?
yeah, because you guys did. You guys went the stick. Yeah, that's also their header was. Yeah, that's not the way that's supposed to be done. But like you do block, you got to get steel. Angle iron. You got to get angle, or possibly I-beam. You actually might need an I-beam for that span. You got how wide?
I used I-beams on the old building.
Right.
And
It's expensive.
Those got melted.
those melted like noodles, dude. I
the
got the
fire.
video. I've got a video if you want to see
Yeah.
it sometime.
In the fire, they
from
melted.
the fire.
From the fire. And
That was hot.
Oh yeah, they were rated to. I asked the fire chief. He goes,
was there jet fuel?
"Oh, there's all kind, no jet fuel, but there's all kinds of fuel." Because when they got there, the fire. But we're really going off topic. So when they got there, the fire department.
That's hot.
I let
That
them know.
is
I
hot.
said, "Listen, I'm telling you now, there's nothing in there worth saving. You guys, your lives aren't worth it." I said, "Because I got a ton of fuel in there." They kind of like gave me a cockeyed look, like, "What do you mean?" I said, "I got probably 50 to 70 gallons of fuel in there, not including what's in
Wow.
my stuff."
Jeez.
They're like, "Why do you have so much?" I said, I have a tractor. There's 10 gallons. I have 0 turns. There's 5 gallons or 8 gallons each. So there's 20 gallons. I have a zero, not a zero. Yeah, I have a UTV. There's another 10 gallons. I said, there's 2 cars in there. There's at least 10 gallons in each. There's 50 gallons that are in the cars or in vehicles.
Did it blow?
I said, no. And I said, now in the back, I said, you have to remember, I got to have fuel for it when they run out.
Yeah, you
I
can
said,
see
so
the
there's
metal
10
I-beam.
gallons of diesel, 10 gallons of 93, 10 gallons of
Oh,
89.
is that the beam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see it bent down.
Now, as far as the gas, so everybody out there thinks, oh, you've got fuel in plastic, what do you call it? Gas cans. Not one of them exploded. They look like a balloon. They expanded.
That's hard to believe.
But
Yeah.
none of them exploded. And I'll tell you how hot it was. It got so hot that the front fascia of the cars had melted, and the gas cans were only 10 feet away.
Jeez. That is. I'm gonna try. Yeah, I can't get that. I was trying to pull up the picture and show it to that, but that is so it sagged, right? I thought it melted through like a torch, though. I was like, that's.
Oh no!
Hot.
It melted like a noodle.
I see. Yeah. He showed me the picture. So, but all that to say, that's the cost. That's when you're building with cinder block. That's commercial construction. The cost goes up astronomically.
Yeah.
And it triples if the government's doing it. So,
Speaking of government doing useless things, did you see Whitmer's proposed plan for seniors on property tax?
That word is triggering to me. The fact that she got reelected after what happened during COVID is
Preach.
it tells me one of two things. Either the election's not a free election, which is
People are ignorant.
kind of believable, or
People are dumber than you think.
Dude,
I'll go with the latter.
I could not believe. It's like they forgot. It's like they forgot.
The short-term memory loss. And people always...
It goes beyond that. Like, it's like they forgot what it was like. They forgot the nursing home thing. What she did to the small business. The scandal of, like, don't go out and then you're out and your lake house or your boat or whatever. That's how the French Revolution happened, dude. Like you've got all these people up in Versailles and, people getting mistreated. So that's the fact that she got reelected is... I haven't heard that name in a while, so I apologize. I got real upset. But what did she do? What's she doing now?
So
what type of malarkey is going on over here?
she is giving I can't remember if it's a
proposing.
refund, rebate. Yeah, it's proposed. So and I briefly read this yesterday, but it's 10% off their taxes back to seniors.
Who?
Seniors.
Property tax.
Property taxes.
What
for their
seniors? What 55 and over? Is that what they're?
Well, it looks like it's only seniors under a certain income because the post, or not the post, but her plan was 350,000 seniors would be affected, and they'd get 10%. Like I said, I can't remember if I said refunded, rebated, but anyways, you get 10% off your property taxes, which they said was about the average person that it would affect, because again, they're only going to the low. Their tax base
$500.
$360 some dollars. Their average was like $3,600 in taxes.
Because a lot of them they're capped from the 90s.
So
right?
so you're getting 300 and actually it was less than 360 because people are like, "Ooh, thanks, you're giving us
80 cents a day."
Yeah, you're giving us less than $1 a day. We're getting $28 a month."
Why is that on the agenda?
Because it makes herself look good.
Yeah. But
They gave
it's
a 10%
on the
cut.
agenda because people are complaining, and rightfully so, that property taxes are just ridiculous, and seniors are getting priced out of their homes because they're on a fixed income. I mean, we talked this about like at our board. There's people in Taylor. They're on a fixed income.
That's not totally the government. I mean, that's the system you bought into, though, right? And you had 30 years to plan for that. Respect. I mean, like, come on.
So they're on a fixed income, and then their taxes go up, and now they can't afford their house, and they have to sell their house. So that's why it's on.
Well, that $300 ain't gonna do it. So.
Well, that's what people are saying. They're like, "Oh, thanks, you're giving us $1
I wonder
a day."
What would be something. Again, now it's an impact because we're gonna get it. Actually, next is nice segue into what we're covering next. What would be cool is if after so many years of paying property tax, it goes away for the life of that individual. New person comes in, they take it over. But that would not help the U.S. government and their gross product, right? And their revenue.
Well, property tax is only for the state.
Excuse me. Oh, okay. Tax revenue. I apologize. So, but it wouldn't help this. It wouldn't help the state. Imagine if everyone who's lived in their home more than 30 years didn't pay tax, or it went down by 80%. Right, that would do something. 80%. So now instead of paying $4,000, you're paying $800, right? So you're saving several thousand a year.
The funny thing is one of those comments they were saying, "Wait, so we're going to lower the tax base for somebody who bought their homes 40 years ago for $20,000? It's worth $250, but we're giving them the break, not the first-time home buyer." They're like, 40 years old is the average age of the first-time home buyer.
What do you think? I mean, what do you think? Again, when we start talking about policymakers, I got into this with a policymaker at our church about during COVID, right? And this is where I get kind of I'm like, I disagreed with how things were handled, and I said it's real simple. If they don't feel safe coming to the building, don't tell them not to come.
Don't come.
And he's like, well, that seems like a pretty calloused approach. I was like, what do you want? So now what we're doing instead, you're never going to make anyone happy is the point, right? So who are you targeting, and I would need a full scale overview of like how the states ran, which I don't have. I mean, there's a reason I'm not a politician, right? One of many reasons, but I don't think if it was run like a business, put the business owners in charge of the place.
And I think that's why Trump is succeeding in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And I laugh because people are like, "Oh, he's so callous and he's this and he's that." And I'm like, listen, you hired a brash New Yorker, successful businessman, and you said he's brash. Really?
Yeah.
Shocking.
The New Yorker part too, especially.
Come on now.
If you want to get into the financial for Michigan, because I know you said you didn't have it, there's actually a guy, he does podcasts, and he goes over financial audits of people. And he's actually kind of funny to watch, and he just rips into people because mostly he just has on people that don't know what they're doing. So he just rips into them because they make stupid financial decisions. But he actually had Whitmer on, and he got a copy of their financials because he's from Michigan, and I don't want to say ripped into her.
He had Whitmer on his podcast,
but he ripped into her as politely as he could because he's like, "Really, you've got this charge? You wasted how many millions of dollars on this?" And then she would have to sit there and give her political answer. And one of her responses, "Well, that's politics, and we have to give when oh, you want $2 million for that project? Well, you give us $2 million for this project, and then we'll be happy." And she basically,
Or how about neither of you get any of the money?
yeah, that's what I'm
There's
thinking.
a thought, right? Like,
And save $4 million.
How about neither of your projects get funded?
But
And
that's how politics is, and that's why politics is the way it is, and why we grossly overspend, and it's not ran like a business, because it's not a business, it's politics.
so, well, I'm going to segue that into homeowner. So, owner occupied homes, and when I was looking into some of this data, it seemed like I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be way lower, and I thought it was going to be way lower as we speak compared to historical, and it hasn't really changed, right? It's hovered between 60 and 65, 66. Again, some dips, some since the 40s, right? It was quite a bit. I think it was 40% in 1900. Right, so overall, we're doing things are doing much better. Here's what's interesting, though. I want to share this chart. So you've got. Let me share this screen here. I know you can't see it. I'll try and turn so you guys. Yeah, it's got like interact. I like things like this. These are things like this. I like a lot. So it shows the home ownership by country. So you've got Canada 66. The U.S. is at 65. I was surprised to see 92% home ownership in Russia. Home owner occupied. Now, but look at, where's Europe? Germany's at 47%.
I would disagree with the Russia one.
Switzerland. So yeah, it sounded high, right? So Kazakhstan, China's at 96%. Why is that hard to believe?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, because if you've ever been to Russia.
But they're just saying that the
owner
people,
occupied.
Yeah,
right?
they're just saying that they own the home. They're not renting.
I would disagree. Most of them, you have to remember, all of those were old. So Russia, and we'll go back to USSR.
Well, Russia's different than if you go down to the Ukraine or
Understand,
Romania,
but listen to what I'm saying. In 1988, when the wall came down, nobody owned anything. It was all communist. You cannot tell me in a 40-year period of time they went to a 90% home ownership. I call BS. Impossible. If you've ever been over there, and yes, I have been over to Romania, Germany, Hungary, Ukraine areas, they're in 99% of those people are still in old Russian communist-built apartment complexes.
Is it? But is the data not based on the population? Is it based on the homes available?
Who knows? Because again,
this is explicitly owner occupied. So there may just not be a lot of homes over there. Maybe the infrastructure is set up to rent. I've never been. Not
it
really
may
trying to go
be
to
that of single-family homes,
yeah,
there are 92% owner occupied. They're not renters. Yeah, because
that's not percentage of the population. I don't think it's percentage of the population. Yeah, that'd be impossible. 66% of the population of America doesn't own a home.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I wonder if that's the system.
It's 65% of the homes are owner
occupied, right? Which would make sense, right? Because China,
because a vast majority of Russia,
China's not
China
92%
is not
owning a home.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, so there's could just be a lot less homes there. But looking at the tax on each property, the U.S. has some of the highest property tax in the world.
Well, yeah, we have to fund everybody else.
Yeah.
We're the baby daddy
But
of the world.
Here's what. So I am probably the.
I love saying that. Sorry.
Oh.
That's my boy.
Ouch.
True,
Ooh.
but that was funny.
Yeah. Well, guys, that was the podcast. That's holy cow. So you and I were talking, Jerry, about just other countries, specifically in the Caribbean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, hey, you know what's the Bahamas? What's Mexico like? And you were like, Dave, if you've been to one third of the world country, you've been to all of them, right? And I don't know where the classes are. I don't know if they're even still called third world countries.
No, that's what are they called?
What are they called now?
Oh, I don't know. I still call them that. But
Well, we went to stopped at Mexico, right? I've never been so unimpressed. And
Get off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to get off the the beaten path wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
Right. So like the property tax. And here's what I think. I was having this thought this morning.
Yeah.
Right. And here's what I think. I think if more people had an understanding of what goes into just the infrastructure of a home, right? Not the least of which, running water. Running sewers, thank you.
Running water.
The concept,
Electrical.
the concept of on-demand hot water at will is new to this century.
Go to the third world countries. And I don't care. I don't care about all the politics. Go to those third world countries.
You know where the lines. I don't know what I can or can't say.
I don't care. Go to those third world countries.
Yeah.
Gas is hit or miss. Electric is hit or miss.
That's crazy.
Plumbing is hit or miss.
Plumbing.
Oh,
outhouses. They just got outhouses.
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. When we went to Romania, when you're in the cities, sure, you'll have the plumbing and everything is, I would say, more Americanized.
Sure.
You get out into the villages, they still have a communal water trough in the center, and that's where everybody goes. And this is the funny part. So Dave, you go to these villages in Romania, and I love the Romanian people. So if there's any Romanians out there, I love you guys. I think you're the friendliest people, and I love it, and I'd love to go back. But when you go out into the villages, they're very depressed financially. But it's funny because they all have Mercedes, BMWs, and luxury vehicles sitting outside, and there's a mentality behind it, and I'll get there in a second. But they don't have the running water. They have literally a well.
They have no running water in a BMW?
No. They go to the well, in a communal well, and that's where everybody goes and gets their water. But they have a BMW.
It doesn't have gas in it.
It doesn't even have gas a lot of times.
But it's in the driveway.
But it looks good. And I went back and talked to a friend of mine because I'd been there a couple of times, and his name was Sergey. And I'm like, Sergey, I don't get the mentality. I said, I'm not trying to be funny. I know what I make. And some of these cars are newer, and they look nicer than mine.
Sure.
And with his Russian accent, he's like, Jetty. He's like, in Russia, we have a saying. In America, it might not come through eloquent as it does in Russian. He goes, but in essence, it means people see what you drive, but they don't see what you eat and drink.
It's all about putting on a front.
It's all about putting out a front.
Well, that's.
And I said, I don't get that, though,
It's
Sergey.
hood rich.
Yeah.
And I said, he goes, you have
phrase.
to remember, Jerry, where were we?
Got a quarter tank of gas in my new E-Class. Like, that's hood rich, right?
So I said, Sergey, but I don't get it. He goes, you have to remember, though, Jerry. He goes, USSR, we were communists.
Sure.
Only the elite drove cars.
Oh, I assume.
And he goes, that's why we have such a huge issue with our infrastructure, because 90% of the people didn't drive.
I see.
And now that 90% of the people do drive, we have parking issues. I mean, people park on sidewalks. They don't care because there's no place to park. But he said the reason for the cars is when we go to church on Sunday, we want people to think we've arrived. We've made it.
Well, I don't know, man.
That's the mentality.
Backwards. Oh, and to your answer, it's developed, developing, and underdeveloped, or less developed. That's the new term.
Third world.
Developing, which
Second
is
world.
second world.
And less developed.
Less developed.
Third world.
Third world. Okay.
Just to help you keep up on the times.
All right.
You know.
But and back to, did they have plumbing in those old Russian buildings where they lived?
That's crazy.
You had just your plate. I mean, you're a family of four would live in a room smaller than this. You didn't have a kitchen.
That's nuts.
You didn't have a bathroom. Your kitchen was like communal.
Yeah.
And your bathrooms were communal.
That's crazy.
Per floor. You had so many.
That's crazy. Yeah, so that is, you look at the property taxes, right? And yes, some are higher than others, and you can kind of choose based on counties and things like that. But, like overall, I mean, even the socially and economically depressed cities are in the top 1% of luxury in world history.
Oh, for sure.
Easy. I had this argument with Jordan just last last summer.
Sounds like you guys agree now.
I'm like, dude, because he was talking about finances, where I'm at, where he's at. And I'm like, dude, you are still in the top 1-2% of the richest people in the world.
Global. What is, I think you need to make 30,000 to be in the top 1%.
I don't even think
Global, yeah.
Sure, globally.
Yeah,
globally. Yeah.
I'm like, you have a car, you have a boat, I went through all the things that he have.
A boat that doesn't run.
I was going to say, how you got a car and a boat and you're single? Man, I feel like we need to start.
Oh, geez.
That had to come up.
We need to start getting some chains. I think that's going to attract the right type of woman.
Yeah,
Get him a
right.
big chain, maybe a ring.
But yeah, and I'm like, dude, it's all about perception.
Yeah, that exists in America too. It exists because I fell subject to that when I was younger, right? You want and here's where I think it was more internally in your social circle, right? You want to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. So they get a house, well, I gotta get it, because you don't want them to kind of look down on you. It's an immature stance, right? But now I'm like, you were roasting my truck the other day. Hey, your gas guy.
Right.
I was like, bro, it's paid off. What do you want from me?
And that's the
I'll
difference,
drive it.
right?
I'll drive this till it dies.
But here's the difference, right?
I don't care.
And I see this the older I get and the more that I hang around people that have money. Those are the people that don't care. We can sit and laugh about it because we don't care what other people think because I know what's in my bank account.
Fixing my. He's like your little
dude. The only thing keeping his truck together is the vinyl wrap, just so everybody knows. It's kind of like
there's a lot of truth there.
So
actually. Yeah,
it's like a plane. If you guys, anybody out there fly, if they ask what does the plane look like, how's the paint, they always grade it on like 1 to 10, and most people will say from 500 feet in the air, it's an 8.
Okay. All right.
Which means on the ground, it sucks.
Interesting.
And that's Dave's truck. Across the street, it looks good. Get close.
Dang, it's turned into a roast session. But you're right. I know. Hey,
but who cares?
But I don't care.
Think of the money.
If I gotta buy a new
think of the money
truck,
you save.
Yeah. I think about. I see these guys like a truck payment. What's a truck payment? $600? 800? No.
It depends.
Yeah.
Dude, they'll give you a loan on it for like
you
8 years now. And I'm like, that's a loan on a house. I'm thinking about doing an 8-year loan on a car.
That's nuts. I was at the bank the other day, and I've been banking with PNC forever. And Lisa, the branch manager, she's like, Dave, so when are you gonna, how come you don't come to me for your auto loan on that truck? I was like, what did you say? And she's like, your auto loan. I was like, on my truck? Because Amanda was there too. She was like, and she's like, yeah, that nice yellow one out there. I was like, that's a 2004 F-150 that I bought for $3,000 during COVID. Like, I'm not.
What are you
gonna loan me on it? Like, number one, you want my $17 payment? Like, what's wrong with you? And she's like, okay, whatever. But she's just pushing products. But so I think that's really interesting. Is the property? Certainly the taxes, right? But go spend some time somewhere, like in another country outside
of your resort that they've made into a mini first world little country feel there, because there's a lot of people are like, oh, I've went to here and here and it was fine. I'm like, yeah, did you go outside of your hotel?
You went to a modernized, colonized part of paradise that they spent $1 billion to make it feel like home for you.
That's it.
That's what they did. Like, and they're like, and dude,
listen.
No, man.
Anybody that complains about the United States has not been outside of the United States.
Yeah. I went to Mexico for the first time last year, and I was like,
your eyes were open.
I could never come back. I'm cool. Like, I never need to come back here. Yeah. Right? Bro, we got
weather's beautiful.
We got Florida. We got Texas. We got. I'll even add California if I had to. Right? Like.
Okay, stop.
But I'm just saying, like, it's it's better than Mexico. The weather.
The weather.
Yeah, the weather. And so I'm not dogging it. So that's the infrastructure in home ownership. I was surprised by the numbers a lot of times. What is coming up? Historically, you guys obviously been licensed longer than I have. When do people start doing stuff? When do people start selling? When do people start looking to buy more? Is it the first 50-degree day in Michigan where they're like, let me get my stuff out of my house?
Right, because I've got a client right now. He's trying to buy, property, sell a vacant land, and rent a house out. So he's doing like a couple different things.
Buy a property, sell land. Where's the land at?
Sumter. It's 5 acres and a pole barn.
And a pole barn?
Yep.
How much are you asking?
Is
that Monroe County or Wayne?
No, it's Wayne.
All right, Monroe. But it's just the land. Is it huntable?
His name, yeah.
How much?
Dude, I'm telling you, we're ready.
How much is he asking?
No,
It won't cost you a nickel. No,
I want to say he was around the 1 to 120 range. Because I haven't
So it's
counted out
5 by 20, 30, what is it? 30, 27,000?
yet. Yeah, it's going to be more for somebody who wants to build because he's in between two newer construction brick houses. So they're when you go out to
It's got a lot of, that's 3 transactions, dog. That'll work.
that'll help. Yeah, and looking for $500,000 multifamily down in Detroit. That's the fun one right now. He's trying to find him something downtown. But it's things are slow right now.
Downtown.
Yeah, he wants downtown.
investment.
And he's just like, dude, my rental's not doing anything. This, we're not. And I'm like, dude, no one wants to do anything right now.
I got a poor taste in my mouth. I know you and I talked about real estate rentals back in the day. And what stuck with me was like when you had to have Hell's Angels show up in front of the house to collect rent or the equivalent, I was like, yeah.
I went with Tank.
Yeah. Your dog?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude.
He's
I mean, like if that, I'm not trying to do that. Yeah, I'm not really interested in that.
well,
But you
he's
make
out.
great money.
Yeah.
He's out in that one rental. It's in Carlton. It's out a little bit outside of Carlton. It's still considered Carlton. It's also on 5 acres. It's 1,100 square feet. It has 2 different barns, and I think he's got it out right now for $19.50. And he completely went in and redid everything. So it's a 2-bed, 5 acres. It's really not terrible. And he's like, man, maybe if it doesn't rent and starts to warm when it starts to warm up, we'll put it up for sale.
But typically, that's when it changes. The market changes for
It's
us.
when it warms up.
I can't say February, March. It really, it's weather dependent.
Weather, yeah.
People just get that itch. It's warm out, and they start.
You know what I think it is too. I mean, because I face this every year. Is the weather
Seasonal depression.
Well, not so much. But the weather breaks, the snow melts, and you're like, dude, my yard looks like
crap.
It just looks like the forest. Like there's like I got kids' toys that somehow made it back outside, and we don't like. We do like a fall cleanup and like get it ready, winterized or whatever, and it's still. I'm just like, dude, there's we need flowers and we gotta do some things to get this presentable so it doesn't look like not to my standard, right? If
we've got 10 acres for you.
Yeah, I know. I can only imagine what you're like. I mean, it's a full-time job for Sherry to keep up with that.
And all joking aside, I mean, for us, it usually costs us about $500 in mulch. We just have a big truck come in, dump it, and then we take it to wherever we need it in the front yard, in the back, on the what do you call it, the pond area.
Yeah.
And then the pond area is usually just really getting it ready.
I guess you don't have.
It's not as bad.
We really try to make it as user friendly as possible because we don't want to spend all day, all week, all month.
How long does it take to cut your grass though?
6 to 8
well,
hours.
I got it. Just so you know, right now it takes me about 6 hours. That's everything. But
depending on the day.
But you have to remember, that's sitting on a zero turn. You have your headset on. You can listen to podcasts. You can do music, whatever.
Honestly, it's more of just time consuming.
But
you got to get on it.
There's more. I just talked to the USDA.
Oh yeah.
This is. Yeah, I think you told me this is cool. This is cool.
So they will take a portion of my 10 acres, and it's like a 3 to 5 acre portion. And he was out walking my whole property, looking at the trees, my bushes, and everything else that I have out there, to seeing what is there.
Mm-hmm.
And the USDA has a program where they will give approximately $5,000 a year for me not to cut the yard.
How many acres not to cut?
It's about 3 to 5 acres, so half. So
they're gonna pay you $5,000 a year
to plant some
to
seed.
save 3 hours a week on cutting grass.
Yeah, and no gas. I don't have to pay for gas or and so my so when you're looking at my yard, the part that's all open, so that part's going to get untouched because Sherry likes it open. She wants it to still be cut.
Yeah, the front, the closest to the house, right?
Well,
No,
you have
no,
the
no,
house
he's
up
talking about
here.
the back.
So if my house is here and then my whole where all the deer come, where I send you pictures,
Yeah.
that still is going to be
Grass.
cut grass.
Really?
Where the tree line starts and everything to the
Oh,
east, just let that grow
oh,
in.
sure. Yeah.
All the trails.
But he said you can still, like if you want to cut with the zero turn paths through there, you can do that. But we want it. So they want Michigan native plants, trees, bushes, flowers.
How tall will the grass get? Will it get
To your
pretty,
waist.
pretty tall? Oh,
I
that's
think
not
they
bad.
said
Tall
they
grass.
want
So
you to.
just tall grass.
Yeah, I think because they want you to cut it like once or twice a year, don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
So
they
you're-
just
you're-
want it so
Oh, once or twice a year. Okay.
so animals will come back,
Interesting.
More
so-
deer.
Yeah. More deer.
More deer, more than the 15 that show
15
up.
do. I got a video right now. I'll show you 30 in my backyard.
That is
So that
no one's hunting them. Is that like
No.
they don't have a natural predator in that area?
no, because you can get fairly close to them.
Yeah, I mean, because no one's hunting them. I mean, you just got to take one buck out and that's it. I mean, they'll still come back, right? You don't feed them though, do you? Just no.
No.
You don't even
Once
bait.
in a blue moon,
Yeah, throw something out.
we'll throw something out there for them.
Yeah, see, there you go. There's a couple bucks for you.
Yeah, dude. I can't. I just wish it outside of jujitsu. I could just travel and hunt, like real hunt, like I.
You know what I want to do? Is those helicopter hog hunts.
Why in a helicopter?
Because they give you literally just a machine gun and you
A
just
machine
mow down.
gun.
Oh, and
that's
you
not
mo-
hunting.
that's-
That's
that's
not
just-
hunting. That's not.
It's more fun there. Well,
Hey,
no,
well,
it's
sure.
they're invasive.
Sure.
They're invasive hogs. That's what you have to go down to like Texas because they're down there by
Dude, those are they. Well,
They'll hurt you.
and there's a reason
want you
you're
to
in a
take-
helicopter,
yeah.
right? So my boy Mike Stewart Jr. He does a lot of hunting. He has a couple schools, but he does a lot of hunting, and every day he's got like sick guns. So he's got thermal scopes and like that, and he hunts hogs, and he'll put this hog down, shoot it twice, see it drop. And when he goes up, like he's got his pistol drawn when
Yeah.
he goes up to it, because like they're some of the toughest animals, and he's had to unload like a 4 after putting 2 30-06 through it. He has to come and unload
Be
3
ready.
or 4 45s, like, and it's like Old Yeller but real life and bloodier. Like you're like, and I never. They'll jack you up, bro. Like those hogs, man.
It's funny
And they're
because
big.
how
they're
big.
600 pounds.
It's quick.
Five-
It's
maybe
funny how quickly your domesticated pigs turn wild
Yeah.
and grow their husks. You didn't know that?
Yeah.
Come on, tell me you didn't know that.
So when I first started hunting, I didn't realize that deer's antlers fell off every year.
Yeah, we get them all the time.
I didn't know this.
That's our dog's toys.
Yeah, he loves it.
I didn't know this.
Those are the best, man.
So you're telling me that the domestic farm pigs
Yeah.
have husks? Why don't they grow?
No, because they're domesticated.
What does that mean?
For whatever reason,
Because
they don't grow.
you're in a fence, you just don't grow a husk.
You take a domesticated pig and you put it into the wild and let it go. It grows the husk and it turns.
Yeah. It's really weird.
Are you punking me?
No,
Like
well,
I can't tell.
No, he's gonna
Like,
look right
are
now.
you?
No.
I need like an explanation, other than so. This is complete side rail, right? We haven't been talking about.
I
this,
like-
right?
yeah, we side railed
This is
about
what
20
happens.
minutes
This is why we're not getting views, right? But like the 25 cents that Facebook's gonna pay me to monetize this,
Wait, I should get revenue sharing?
y'all are getting paid. Domesticated pigs can turn feral, and it happens fast, way faster than most people expect. Are released, their natural selection kicks in hard. Thicker, darker, bristly hair, longer snouts, leaner, and more muscular within 1 to 2 generations. I mean, how long's a generation?
Oh, it's.
Oh,
a
you gotta
couple
remember,
years.
they age
breed.
quickly.
Tusks grow. Oh, so the next pig. So not that pig.
Yeah, you're
Like
talking,
that pig's not going to
yeah,
evolve
no,
and
no,
be
no.
like,
Yeah, not in a week.
super jacked
Yeah.
pig. But they're offspring, it says. So the pigs
Yeah.
are kind of perfect animal favorite. That's
But you have to remember though, and the reason
well.
why it's
So it's
quick.
their offspring, not the actual pig itself.
Yeah. Yes.
But-
That's okay. That
okay,
makes.
but you have to
now
remember-
understand my confusion.
Pigs can have how many? I mean,
Yeah, they
they're-
can breed a lot. Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot.
That makes sense.
And quickly.
That makes sense, right? Because it's more nature versus nurture a little bit. So that makes sense. I legit thought which still doesn't fully make sense. Because that would be like, so is a rhino born into captivity not born without a horn?
No, that's not true.
It's not. Right. I'm just saying, like, my brain, I believe you, obviously. It's true. But, like.
But if you take it like a killer whale, an orca, and you put it into captivity, its dorsal fin flops.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Off of one
That's kind of
pair.
sad when you think about it now.
Yeah. Then they don't know why.
Off of one pair with average conditions, I mean, it's a pretty big range, but 100 and 150 pigs after 3 years off of one pair.
Yeah.
So if you get one pair accidentally gets out in 3 years, you could have 100 some pigs.
What do they eat?
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. So when I say anything, they'll eat humans. They'll eat bones. They eat everything. So if you ever need, not if you ever need to eat anybody.
There's a Criminal Minds episode about it too.
Yeah, I've seen it in Port Huron. It's in Port Huron, right?
It was based off a real.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, someone's actually done that. That's how they got rid of all the evidence. They just throw it in the pig pen. Pigs eat everything.
They eat everything, bones included.
But yeah, we're really
not endorsing,
now.
but just saying. Speaking of, I did talk to Uncle Tony. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, holy cow, that's insane. All right. Well, we touched on a lot. I don't know. I mean, do we have any comments? We have no people watching. At the moment.
But we had fun, and that's all that
zero
mattered.
people watching this, right? So we are gonna, as the warm weather breaks, guys. Obviously, we have plenty of real estate professionals that we can help you buy, sell. Here's something. Do you guys do rentals? I personally don't. I just don't.
We do them when needed.
Yeah. So per case by case basis, right?
Just honestly, there's not a lot of skin in the game.
That's kind of why I don't do it. To me, I wouldn't be able to provide the $1,000 is not worth the two.
It's not even 1,000.
Two or
sometimes
whatever,
it's not even
the 2 or 3 months that I'm gonna have to work with somebody because it's my standard. I'd be like, listen, I will help guide you, whatever. Like, I'll give you some advice, some tips, but to go through these things, and I don't know, that's why I personally don't offer them.
I only do it for friends or clients that are more investors. Yeah. Other than that, and the only reason I do it for them is because they're buying and selling, houses
more
rentals and stuff. So
as a service to your existing clients.
It's just difficult because when you again, when I'm dealing with a rental on a residential level, I'm marketing it, I'm showing it, I'm taking applications, I'm going through the applications, and for one rental, I just did a condo, and we had it for a couple of months. We probably had a dozen showings at a minimum. And then God only knows how many applications, because my philosophy is I'm not even going to go show it to you until you give me your application, because there's standards. If you're not making the money, if you don't have the credit score, I'm not even going to get off my seat to go show it to you.
Right.
So once you weed through those and then figure out who's even worthy of seeing it because they fit the qualifications, I've probably have spent on rentals minimum.
Who pays you?
The owner of the condo or the house doing the rental,
landlord.
The landlord.
Does that work out similar to like a buyer broker contract? Almost said BBC,
you don't,
but we
so
know Jerry can't handle it. So like the exclusive buyer broker contract.
You don't actually need a buyer broker contract for rentals.
Okay.
Or commercials.
Okay.
They're strictly for
I see.
residential
I guess that would
single
make
family.
sense. Yeah.
But hour wise, it's just not worth my time.
Of course.
And I'm not trying to be pompous when I say that. I'm really not.
Because you said 1,000 on that one. He's talking about
$600.
It was literally the rent was $700, which means you get half that, $350.
Oh,
so you did all that work for $350.
Because the other side has to get paid off the 1 month. Because that's typically what we charge is a 1 month. If it's a $700 rent, they get $350. We get $350, and then you got to pay your broker, right?
I see.
So now even off that $350, you get half the $350.
And then pay your taxes and Social Security.
I see.
It's just not.
That's a day's wage for most of America.
Yeah, and you're putting a lot more than 8 hours into it. I promise you that.
A lot more than 8 hours. Sure.
Yeah, and that's in hopes of renting it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because you don't get paid until it's rented.
Yeah. Well, all right. So if you're looking to rent,
Don't call us.
Call Dave Fox.
I was hoping you guys are gonna say I was gonna be like, don't call these guys.
Call Dave.
That's funny. All right, guys. Well, appreciate you. We'll hit you up. We'll see you same time, same place next week, and looking forward to helping you move. Take care.